channel. So today I am going to be doing a PWI versus HBCU discussion. Here are my friends from the Summer Scholars Program. Why don't you guys just introduce yourselves?
So I'm NCA&T. I just graduated from Winston-Salem State University and I have my bachelor's in mass communications.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I go to North Carolina Central University and my major is mass communication.
And my name is Tia. I go to University of South Carolina and I'm a broadcast journalism major.
My name is Kayla. I go to North Carolina A&T State University and my major is marketing.
My name is Kajaja Hawkins and I go to the nation's first private HBCU, Wilberforce University, and I am the 93rd Miss Wilberforce University and my major is mass media communication.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Suhaib. I go to Ohio State. I'm a fourth year neuroscience major.
Hey y'all, my name is Jada Hill. I attend the University of Georgia and I study advertising.
Raise your hand if you go to HBCU. Okay, raise your hand if you go to PWI. Okay, so there's 4 HBCUs and 3 PWIs. Okay, so we're just gonna get into like general questions right now. So the first one is, what made you choose and apply to your institution?
So I chose my school because it was free and because my school was free and it was like I was going through like a little midlife crisis and I had broke my ankle. It was like a long story, but I didn't really like necessarily intend on going to Wilberforce, but my mom did graduate from Wilberforce, so that kind of played into it too. But yeah, that's fine.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, me too. But I also chose my school because it was free, and it is the best HBCU, but it also was free, so I did it.
Yeah, must be nice. Free education.
So I go to a PWI and I chose my school because my mom went there, so ever since I knew about college, that was the main college I knew about. And then 2, once I did a college tour of Georgia, I just fell in love with the campus and I just envisioned myself there. Like I could see myself thriving there, honestly.
So I always knew that I was going to go to HBCU. It was kind of instilled in me since birth, literally. My mom is a FAMU graduate, my sister went to Spelman. And growing up, I was always at predominantly white schools, so I knew that I wanted to go to a school where I had professors that looked like me and I had other peers that looked like me. And I chose Winston. Okay, so actually Winston really chose me because I really wasn't in love with Winston to begin with, but I'm really happy that I made that decision. So, yeah.
With NCCU, I actually didn't want to go there in the beginning. I wanted to go to PWI because I don't know. I toured UNC Charlotte, loved it, but then I toured NCCU, loved it even more. And also I like the programs that they have for first generation college students, so they were really friendly to me and other people like me.
For me, I always knew that I wanted to go to USC. My mom is an alum of USC. I have a bunch of family that that went to USC. So I already knew that I wanted to be a Gamecock eventually. I did transfer last semester, but I just felt like USC was my home, and I really never thought about going to HBCU, which I kind of wish I did think about it, but it was just something that I never thought about.
For me, I went to Ohio State because I had a full ride through the Scholars Program, which is like an early arrival program, so I know a lot of people. But I really wanted to go to Emory University because I wanted to go down south instead of Ohio.
Hey.
But yeah, I just wanted to stay close to home, and I knew a lot of people at Ohio State already, so it was just like, just stay there for now.
The next question, explain your experiences so far at your HBCU or your PWI.
So since attending Wilberforce, I went through a rough, stressful freshman year. Like it was just like I didn't know what to do. Like I feel like I was overwhelmed. But I don't know if that's just like any college experience. But Wilberforce, it was just, to me, first of all, Wilberforce is a culture shock because I thought college was just gonna be all these big buildings and big livelihood and stuff like that. And Wilberforce is like this big. So it was just like I just kept running into the same people and like it was just like it was just crazy. I wasn't used to that environment and going to parties and stuff like that every night. But then after time, I finally like got my own like niche and like I got my own space, and then I started my own organization, Melanin and Glitter. It's on my shirt right here. And then I started doing things that like I felt like were important, like doing community service and having campus events and just being a student leader. And then I decided to become Miss Wilberforce. So it just really like did a 180, to be honest.
So, with my experience in college, I honestly thought going from high school into college, I thought I would want to be the baddest person on my college, honestly. I thought I would want to get this position, all during my freshman year. I only literally got, out of probably the 15 positions on campus I applied for, I probably only got one. Versus I seen all these other people that I knew, like getting every single position that I wanted. So I was kind of like, okay, is this me? Am I doing something wrong? And because it's very hard when you go to a school like UGA, where everybody and grandma is an honors, with either valedictorian, salutatorian, or a honors graduate in their class. And so it's kind of hard when you are honor graduate going to an environment where everybody else was like doing really good in their school too. So you kind of like you may feel like how I felt like the dumbest kid honestly at UGA, just because like I wasn't getting the grades I thought I was gonna get versus like my classmates. But honestly, I feel like my sophomore year became better because I started driving more. I did Miss I Can Go. That helped my confidence so much, especially as I ended up placing the pageant, which I never thought I would do. I helped get the first all-black ticket elected at UGA, which was a really cool experience, honestly. And then also, I was starting my own organization too, so that really like helped me a lot to find my place on my campus.
Anybody else want to elaborate on that question?
This was the experience.
Explain your experience so far.
So I've had a great experience at my HBCU. Since I grew up around predominantly, like mostly white people, I feel like if I went to a PWI, I probably would have assimilated and like been one of those black girls who was like in a white sorority. I would have been that, like for sure. So like going to HBCU really like opened my eyes to like black culture, and I'm kind of like a woke ass radical bitch. So I'm really excited.
Are there black girls in like?
There are black girls in white sorority.
I would have been a token. I would have been a token black girl. That would have been me.
Yeah.
If I chose like UNC Charlotte, it would have been me for sure.
It was like I literally did ask her one day. I was kind of like, well, why are you in a white sorority and not like a black sorority? And she was kind of like, well, I was in the cheerleading team in my high school and everything, and I just really enjoyed the sisterhood. I'm kind of like, but you know, there's black sororities for that. But I just think because she grew up around white people, that's the only thing she knows about. Because I learned at UGA, not all black people know about Black Greek life.
Really?
Yes, but
I just thought that was a common thing.
Is it going?
Yeah.
Alright. So my experience at Ohio State, which is a PWI, you know, my graduating class is 49 students. So from high school, so going to Ohio State is like 60,000 students on campus. But like through my scholarship program, we have like a little community where it's just like minorities and black, like HBCU'S. So like basically like that's your in like small community within a bigger campus. Like they literally, the old student union at Ohio State, they gave it to like the black community and they built a new one. So like everybody that's like minority or is on a full ride like for the need base is always in that. It's called Hill Hall. So like it's always just there's that small community that's really a support system. School-wise, it was cool. Ohio State is really tough, especially like for a STEM major. Neuroscience is really tough. But my experience, the best part of my experience is the people I've met at Ohio State so far, and the whole support system I have, and also I crossed Alpha Kappa chapter 10th house, you know. So that's the best part of my experience, honestly. So.
Okay.
I just finished my freshman year, and it was very overwhelming at A&T because everybody is like so over the top, and it's like it's kind of hard to keep up. It's like you want to stay true to yourself, but you also don't want to be looking crazy. Also, I'm in the honors program, so the same experience that Jada had. I thought I was smart, I thought I was special, and A&T showed me that I'm not, and that I'm just regular smart. So just regular smart, not like over the top like I thought I was. So.
Well, like my experience at NCCU, I believe it's been more positive than negative. But the negative part about a lot of HBCUs is they don't have a lot of variety in music when it comes to parties. They just stick to trap music, and a lot of people don't even listen to trap music. I know I don't listen to it like that, like that. Yeah, like you have to be in the mood for it, and sometimes I just want to chill. But even at kickbacks, they have all this.
What year are you in school?
I'm a junior. Well, rising junior, you know. Yeah.
And they'll say like it's about to be a slow jam kickback.
Yeah.
And you get there and they still playing.
I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm tired. Like with Chopper Socks, I'm like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I can't keep going.
They play the same song.
This guy pulled my wig off at a party. I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, I had my
You
long-
are serious.
yeah, I had my long wig on, so he was like grabbing my bag, and it was like shifting back. I was
Oh my
like,
god.
I pulled it off.
That's terrible. To elaborate on that question for me, I would say I'm really enjoying USC so far. Like I said, I've only been there for a year, but so far I really enjoy it, and I think there's a lot of opportunities for me, especially within my major. However, I will say that like there are not a lot of black people at USC. Like if you compare the
demographics.
if you compare the demographics, there's not a lot of black people at all. The only type of black community that there is, not the only one, but like the main ones are like Greek life. So if you're not in Greek life, it's kind of hard to be in the black community, given that there are so many, like there's not a lot of us at all.
To elaborate on that, Ohio State 60,000 students, 5.33% is black.
Jesus Christ, that's a
And that's
nightmare.
made up of the football players on the team, and then need-based scholarships, and then just a few from the suburbs that got money.
At UGA, out of the 30,000 students, the black population is only 9%. So a little bit bigger than both USC and Ohio State, but still, at the same time, we compare overall, like in my major alone, I'm one of the only 5 black people in my cohort.
Our guy to girl ratio was trash. It's like one guy to 27 girls.
Yes.
And that's
Can't
why
find a
there's
husband there.
That's why there's so
I can
much
never
drama on. Wait, there might be. Is there a dating question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, then we'll get to that.
Elaborate on that.
Do you think your institution prepares you for the real world as a black person? Why or why not?
I say yes, definitely. My department chair, he sends out opportunities all the time. There are a good amount of white people on campus. It's a HBCU, but every time I walk outside, I see at least one white person. So it's not like we're completely like taken away from like white world or anything. And then they always invite us to events where there are other races, so they, are exposing us professionally, and then also making sure we're used to people that aren't like us.
Mm-hmm.
For me, for my department at least, I had to kind of find my own opportunities, which was kind of hard. My school really caters to STEM and nursing and education, so they didn't really care about like mass comm and all that. So a lot of the opportunities and internships that I had to seek out myself, and I had to like network on my own. But it did prepare me as far as like being more independent and like reaching out to people, because I used to be super shy and introverted and I didn't like talking to people. But it taught me how to like go after things, because nothing's gonna be handed to me in life and I have to like find shit on my own. So, yeah.
I get exposed to so many races every single day, so not just like blacks, white, also like Hispanics, Asian American, brown people. I get exposed to basically a huge like melting pot every single day. So I really feel that that gives me a great viewpoint on what the actual world looks like, especially as like, I think they told us this week, like, is it like 2050 or 2045, like minorities will be majority, which is like really crazy when you think about it actually. And so like with being in like a melting pot, it really allows you to see like so many people and so many different ideas, and like show you that when you're in the real world, like something working to work for, you're gonna be exposed to so many people who doesn't typically think like you, but at the same time you can learn a lot from them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So going into like the academic aspect of it, do you feel your institution and the curriculum is challenging?
I feel like with most colleges you have like your easy classes, and then you have classes that are more challenging. So like my freshman year, I don't necessarily say I had like hard classes because they were general ed classes, so I had like math and English and stuff. But when I got into my major, I was definitely challenged more because it was what I wanted to do, so I was learning something different as opposed to gen ed, where it's just like kind of a refresher of what you learned in high school. But I do feel like I was challenged.
I feel like my classes were challenging, not only with just the academics, but as far as like them holding you accountable for like knowing when things are due, looking at the syllabus, and like they don't cut any slack unless you like know how to finesse. If you don't know how to finesse, then it's gonna be really hard. But from what I've seen, professors are easy to finesse, but I don't have that skill yet. I'm not really a networker like that.
Learn
so
it, it's amazing.
it's so hard.
Like, honestly, at a lot of HBCUs, if a professor, it's easy to build a bond with your professors at HBCUs. So that makes them feel like you should be accountable of your work, and therefore, even if they do challenge you, then they should be like, oh, well, you got this because I know you, and you know me, and you know how I am, so therefore, you're gonna do what you gotta do. But personally, I feel like I am challenged, even though I've always excelled academically, but I feel like if you're not being challenged, then you're not gonna learn much.
My Ohio State, yeah, that's a tough school. I mean, academically, I always was cool. I'm still cool, but it's just like Ohio State, if you come from public school systems, it's not built for you. Like, I had chemistry classes where, like my counterparts, they would, they would have, like, the gen chem, the first 2 courses of gen chem, they would have them covered from high school, and it's just stuff I'm learning now, like, from public system. So it's just like, that's tough. It's not like meant for people from our backgrounds, but I mean, if you really want it, you gotta adapt and just like do it. And professors, I have a connection with one professor, and like I go to office hours. Like our class would be 400, 500 students. Our office hours like 30 people. That's a class itself. How can I get in touch? And professors don't really care like that. So I only have one good connection with one professor. So.
Now moving on to like the social aspect of everything. How is the social/dating life at your school?
Wait,
Hilarious.
so when you go to a school where, again, there's 9% of the Black population, and then majority of the population is female, it's very hard to date, honestly. And the thing is, because the community is so small, people know about each other's business. Mm-hmm. And so it's crazy how it works, because I remember my freshman year, my best friend, she was talking to this guy, and things didn't work out between them, and my best friend ended up getting a boyfriend that summer. And the guy came around like, oh, hey, she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend now. He basically put a hit on her and told all his guy friends that you cannot talk to her. And we're about to be seniors, and that hit is still very real. So it's kind of like, when you go to a small school like that, you have like the guys who are really great guys, but they already have girlfriends because people realize they're a great guy. Mm-hmm. Then you have the guys who are going through their whole phase, and basically take them probably till after college plus 2 years to realize, okay, I can't be doing this anymore. And then you have your hidden gems that you gotta find. So I'll say that about dating life at a PWI.
Like I said earlier, the ratio at Winston is 1 guy to 27 girls, so you're not gonna find a husband, huh?
That's really crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I am not dating, but I am social, because I have my husband right here. You know,
okay.
But like, as far as like boy to girl ratio, ours is like, I think we have more boys at my school than girls, but they're all like hood. They're like hood niggas that like be gang banging, and they just came to college.
They're not
to get
educated
away.
hood niggas?
They're working, like they're progressing, I guess, but they're they're like gang banging ass niggas from like Chicago and Detroit. But like, as far as my friends and stuff, like as far as their dating life, we don't really talk to boys at our school that much. I guess that's sad, but yeah, it doesn't really happen that often, and when it does, it just always backfires. But as far as socially, like, I feel like I have like a lot of friends, and I'm a cheerleader too. So like, I've met a lot of people, and I know a lot of people, and I'm like popular-ish because I'm popular-ish because I'm a cheerleader, and we only have 500 people in my school, so like everybody kind of knows everybody. Like, it's like everybody is popular. Like, I don't know, like everybody knows everybody. So that's but that's just because we're so little.
Yeah, my guys in my school, they're either hoes or gay, so yeah.
Oh, dang.
You know, seriously,
So
there's a lot of like undercover niggas. Which
I feel like that's
it
every
makes me
school.
sad. It's usually fun.
Yeah, but for me, I would say I'm not really like, as of right now, I'm not really dating, because a lot of guys, like they said, aren't shit, and then like people that you may think are end up not being like worth anything. So I'm just kind of like playing it safe and, you know, living my best life. And socially, since I just transferred to USC, I don't know a lot of people, but I am getting more involved in trying to get to know people. So, and it's not that easy for me because I'm really introverted, but I'm learning. So, yeah.
About the dating life, I'll say if you're a girl, and you're over 5'9", do not go to A&T because every boy there is small. So you're not gonna find anybody at A&T unless you're okay.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, I don't know about y'all school, but like our school, we have like low-key a dating hierarchy. So like you're an athlete, you're at top of the list. Our priority for females. Then the second on the list is Greek life.
Yeah.
After Greek life, the transfers, because you know they didn't know you freshman year. So, they don't know you freshman year. They don't know your background. You're in school, so you're kind of like, oh, you're a hot commodity again. Hidden gem, y'all. So they're on the list, and then after the transfers, it's literally everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the big hierarchy.
I feel that for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how's dating and social life at your school?
My school is pretty small. It's a PWI, so we have a small amount of black girls, and that's mainly what I'm into, is black girls or minority girls. And there are more girls than there actually are guys. I just don't find the selection pool to be good enough by my standards. I know that sounds good, but we all do have standards, and it just doesn't really fit my taste per se. But that's just at my school. I try to just be low key and see who's out there, who I vibe with, and never really try to force anything. I think nowadays with dating, people are getting a lot bolder. People are starting to just come out and be like, yo, this is what it is. And I think that's a really great thing. I know there's this stigma that, guys have to talk first, guys need to make that first move. And actually we're entering a social atmosphere where that's actually very dangerous, with all the things going on in society. So I would rather, just vibe with someone and mutually let it be known, or if that person or that, for me, I'm personally scared. So like if that girl were to come up to me or whatever, then I could be receptive and whatnot. But I think right now we're entering a dangerous space where it's like you can't really shoot your shot the way people used to. Not that the way people used to do it was totally correct either. So right now, what was the question? Is there anything
How's
specific?
dating life just at
For
your
me,
school?
at my school.
Or
Like,
you
for me
specifically, it doesn't matter.
Right now it's non-existent. I'm on a chill period. I just like to vibe with people. I don't really like to do too much. And if something, is pointing out to me, something I'm feeling something, I'll maybe let to go for it. But until then, I'm just chilling.
Feel that. Same. What about you?
So I go to HBCU, y'all. I go to A&T. I'm actually currently in a relationship. So it's a little weird because there's just so many black women on my campus, and a lot of them are very attractive. So it's definitely like a little weird, and I'm getting used to it now, just being committed. I'm in Faithful Black Man Club, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
No distractions, one with tunnel vision, you know what I'm saying? But before I got in a relationship, it's like real interesting talking to people, just because it's like, if one person doesn't work out, it's kind of like you don't have to worry about somebody knowing somebody, because the campus is so big and it's predominantly black people at the school. So like you can just go ahead and kind of like talk to whoever else next without having to worry about like your business being put out there. So that was pretty cool.
See, that's the opposite for me.
Yeah. But also like, I don't know, at A&T, like there's like this whole like wholesome movement, like where girls say like they're looking for like a wholesome man or whatever. So it's a little bit of tension, low key, between like guys and girls, at least at my school. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm not gonna start no debate or feud or nothing like that. But yeah, so that's how it is at A&T.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Is there a lot of school spirit at y'all's school?
Not
Right.
Aggie Pro.
No, it's
No, it's not.
A lot.
Really? Oh yeah.
No, it's not a lot of school spirit at my school, but I'm trying to change that as Ms. Wilberforce. Like that's really one of the major things that I want to change, is like to get people to be more like proud of the institution that they go to, especially because we are the nation's first private HBCU. Like that's an accomplishment in itself, and we have so many people that are full of potential. But let me not get to spewing my, Ms. Wilberforce speech. But we don't have a lot of school pride, and that's just sad to me.
when you go to like a football powerhouse school, it's kind of hard not to have.
We don't
football.
have a football team.
Oh,
Period.
that's
Oh yeah, sports isn't really big at your school, right?
I mean, our basketball team. Because when you just said that hierarchy, we have a basketball team, but like nobody really pays them that much attention. It's Greeks,
Damn.
and then basketball, and then random cute dudes, I guess, and then like hood niggas. Well,
Just
hood,
hood niggas.
hood niggas and random. I don't know. Hood niggas and
Locals.
stuff. Yeah, but like, yeah, the Greeks are like at the top of the list. Like everybody loves the campus, and then they love themselves so much because they're the Delta chapter. Can't nobody tell them nothing. So,
Bro, our Greek life is such a joke. It really is. No, like our last fine line keys was like 2016. After that, it's just been downhill. What was the question again?
It was school spirit.
Anyways,
I love the Alphas. I'm a Marriott Alpha.
Ohio State Spirit,
Oh,
they,
school
like it's up there, but it annoys me. I don't really got school spirit. I don't care about Ohio State, but
That's real.
they school spirit is crazy. Like that's one thing. But I mean, it's a football driven school, but they don't really care about the athletes themselves. But like, it
Yes.
is what it is.
It's the same at USC. You know, USC is a really big football school, even though we're not doing so great, but we're coming back this year, so stay tuned. Yeah, so I think it would be, as far as the hierarchy goes, it would be like football, then maybe basketball players, Greek life, and everyone else. But as far as school spirit goes, there's a lot of school spirit. Go Cox.
Cops.
I feel like
That's such an ugly ass.
it's
like
really
cock.
Go
It's
Cox.
disgusting.
I would say
I couldn't go to that school.
I say for you.
Is it
I say
cock a
for
bird?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gamecocks.
Not so.
I say for like you.
Boo.
You're not even really.
Oh, you're not even.
Yeah, you're not even in the video.
Should I say go?
Well, like about NCCU, like we have the biggest school spirit, especially when we play A&T, like that, the whole rivalry stuff going on. I don't pay no mind to it because I'm kind of biased because I'm from Greensboro, but that's neither here nor there. But especially at HBCUs, there's like a lot of there's a big emphasis on school pride and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
HBCUs, they really place like a big emphasis on school spirit. I don't know why though. Like maybe it's because of the family aspect of
I was about to say
HBCUs,
that.
Yeah.
and that's why, because everybody comes together for like big events.
And
So
because
it's
they're
like-
so extra.
I don't-
So
I don't think it's just HBCUs though, because PWI'S have a lot.
But
of
it's
school
like
spirit.
different.
Because
Yeah.
our school
Yeah.
spirit
It's
is
like
not
different kind of
necessarily
spirits.
sports. Like
But
we
it's
have,
different.
because we have
It's
school spirit when it
very
comes to
different.
sports, but like we really come together like as a whole. Like
Yeah, I
we're
feel like
we're really like a
white
family.
school.
I
That's
feel-
Ram Pride,
Ram Pride.
Eagle Pride.
because like even outside of basketball and football season, like we're still always talking about
Yeah.
our school.
Yeah.
So it's not just during the sports seasons for
Man.
us.
I can feel like I can say the same with UGA. Honestly, even though it's a PWI, I still feel like 24/7 all year round we're always saying "Go Dogs"
Yeah.
or something. Literally, just because like we always have school pride. So even in the Black community, we have a lot of school pride.
I say PWI'S know how to invest in their spirit to make money for their school. From, like,
Absolutely.
fans.
Yeah.
They know how to do that for sure.
Yeah, it's that's kind of what it is. It's almost like HBCUs have homemade spirit, and then PWIs have the public.
Yeah.
Like everybody's we're gonna
Everybody.
flash it, put our logo, put our team everywhere, and everybody's gonna know.
White people always want to conquer with their stuff, so I
Yeah.
guess that's what they want to
No,
do.
it's no facts.
So next, I did some polls on Instagram just to get, my followers' perspectives on the issue. And I asked, which do you think provides the best quality education for Black people specifically? 46% said PWIs and 54% said HBCUs. Do y'all agree with that?
I think it doesn't
It's
matter.
happening.
It doesn't matter really.
I feel like as long as the curriculum is the same, as long as you're still learning what you need to learn, doesn't matter who taught you, doesn't matter what color your classmates are, as long as you're getting your work done.
I say go to the college that's like best for you, honestly. Like
I mean, in your major.
if like that's like for your major, honestly. Cause like for instance with me, I'm an advertising major. I know I couldn't go to HBCU just because they don't have advertising as a major. Either it would be mass communication or public relations, which is like they touch on advertising, but it's not exactly advertising. So I feel like go to the college that's like right for like your major, honestly.
The funny thing about it is like I might not feel like the most prepared about my career or about my education. But at the same time, I feel like I wouldn't have felt prepared anywhere that I would have went. Like, I feel like the best type of schools are the schools that push you into your career field.
The next poll I put was, which do you think provides the best overall experience for Black people? 15% said PWI'S and 85% said HBCU'S. So as you can see, a lot of people. What was that?
What do you think?
So guys, we have a newcomer. Can you introduce yourself? And
Introduce yourself.
My name is Trey Jones.
what school do you go to?
My name is Trey Jones, and I attend UL University.
Okay.
PWI.
What's your major?
I'm a strategic communications major.
Awesome. I was saying how only 15% said PWI'S provide the best overall experience for Black people, and 85% said HBCU'S. So how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, that's probably true. The PWI is predominantly white, so it's probably not the best place to have a holistic experience across the diaspora. You know?
I mean, it's facts.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with him. Like,
Like, when you go to a PWI, like as a Black person, you're gonna experience bumps in the road just because you're a Black person at a predominantly white institution. And racism is still a very heavily thing, honestly. Especially, I can speak at UGA, how, for instance, like this past semester, 4 frat boys posted a video on their Snapchat mocking slavery, and somebody was on the camera was like, "You're not gonna say the word," and he was like, "nigger" and everything. I mean, of course, that's hard. But basically, they took it to the office. They did nothing about it. So the next best thing is taking it to Twitter, obviously, and it blew up. You had all the news stations in Georgia covering it. You had Good Morning America covering it and everything. And so obviously, the fraternity got suspended from UGA, and the 4 guys were dealing with different punishments about it. So that's it's like a major bump in the road, because when you see a situation like that, you're kind of like, well, why don't I go to a PWI when I'm not being treated equally as right?
Yeah, the same thing happened at USC. Like a couple of years ago, this white girl said something like, what did she say? She said, "I hate niggas, but the hard ER," and she wrote it on like the board, and they posted it on her Snapchat. And I never understood that. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you post that on your Snapchat?
I don't know. Video.
Exactly. But I don't know if she got kicked out or what happened to her. But yeah, you're gonna experience that at a PWI. I feel like overall, HBCUs do provide a better experience for Black people. However, I think that PWIs do prepare you for the real world. Yeah, because whether we like it or not, racism is 100% real. And so I feel like PWIs do prepare us for that.
I think you still get prepared at the HBCU because you're during that, even though you're not necessarily like around white people and you don't experience that kind of racism, you're still like building yourself up and you're learning like how to be a strong Black woman or Black person in the real world. So you're building yourself up.
And sometimes it's not even racism. Racism sometimes just comes from a peer-to-peer standpoint. When it comes to the offices, the faculty and administration, sometimes they feel because we are the minority on the campus that they shouldn't do the initiatives, they shouldn't do events for us, they shouldn't put their full effort into anything. So it sort of kind of makes it feel like we don't care. So we have to advocate for ourselves, which is something that we have to practice for a lot of us in the careers that we're all about to go into.
I feel like what you said about it prepares you for the real world and racism exists. I feel like college is a time where you grow the most, and I feel like it's a time where you really need to focus on yourself, you need to focus on your own growth, and you can't really do that when you're having to practice racism. I feel like we practice racism like we were in the real world before college, and then the college is time where we get to be closing for ourselves and not experience anything.
Shut the fuck up.
It's not like we're recording a video or anything.
I feel like, going back to the question, I feel like, HBCUs do give Black people a better overall experience, honestly, even though I love UGA and everything. But I feel like if I had to go to another school, I probably would make apply to an HBCU, because when I first like applied for colleges, I didn't apply for a single HBCU just because like I knew they existed. I visited some before and everything to visit people that I knew there. It's just that I couldn't like physically just see myself honestly at an HBCU.
You said you could not?
I just couldn't, just because like I don't know why. I just felt like I knew I wanted to go to a PWI, which is really weird. But like me and my best friend had this conversation because she goes to Georgia Tech, another predominantly white institute, and she just said the same thing. She just couldn't see herself at an HBCU.
I mean, for me, I've just been in PWIs my whole entire life, so me coming to a PWI, I didn't think it was going to be that rough of a transition for me. But now that I have been here for now my senior year, I sort of kind of regret not going to an HBCU.
I feel like everybody feels like not flip flop, but like I feel like a lot of people that went to HBCUs are either going to have to settle and go to a PWI for grad school, or they want to go to a PWI for grad school. And a lot of people that went to PWIs for undergrad want to go to a HBCU for graduate school, regardless of whether that happens or not. Like I feel like that's one of the things that I've kind of sort of saw after. Like maybe it's just like plays into that what you want, like you want what you can't have.
I think it's good to. Oh, sorry.
I think what Danielle Austin said today really resonates with what you're saying, where she kind of had to dip into both sides. Like, you know, she went to public school, then her mom's like, no, you go to private school, and it's really white. And then she put her in public school again, and then she went to PWI again right there. And, you know, she found a balance in both. And I think that's honestly what we all need to find as Black professionals. And I think that's the only way we're going to win, honestly. I'm not saying that, you know, if you go to an HBCU for undergrad and then grad that, you know, you won't be able to handle white people, but you will build up a sensitivity, I'm sure, some type of, you know, social coding to them, and it's going to be a shock to your system. I mean, I know I can speak to this from elementary school, I want to say until pre-K to 4th grade, I went to a predominantly white elementary school, and my friends were white. There's still Black people. There's a good amount of Black students, but, you know, I didn't really know too much other, you know, I didn't even know there was a thing as predominantly Black schools, or when I did hear about them, I'm like, oh, they're not, you know, in good places, they don't perform well in X, Y, and Z. It was until I went to one after I went to an international school, and that was even, you know, very diverse. So then I went to a predominantly Black school, and that's honestly where I saw the most racism. I saw the most ignorance, you know, that just being my experience from my own people. And then it was when I went back to PWI where, you know, there were some Black people still, but, you know, it was predominantly white. I didn't experience some of those same things. And I think it was a really good thing that I did go to a predominantly Black school, and I had in my past gone to a predominantly white school as well, because I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have this know-how. And some people are still trying to navigate that today. So, you know, I was able to understand this at a very young age. So I think that, you know, in some shape or form, whether you do end up going to a HBCU or you are going to a PWI, you need to understand that there's two worlds, like Daniel Austin was saying, and you need to know how to level them.
Yeah, this topic is going around a lot lately, where it's kind of like divided, like between HBCUs and PWIs, where HBCUs think they're better than the PWI students and vice versa. So just to wrap up the video, one last question. It says students at HBCUs are more in touch with African heritage. How do y'all feel about that?
I feel like it all depends on the person.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like at my school, we don't even, like, maybe because maybe it's just my school, but like at my institution, it almost seems like people just think like, oh, you're Black, you don't need to get any reinforcement about your African heritage because you're already Black. And maybe like PWIs, I feel like they go the extra, well, from what I've seen, they go the extra mile to make sure that they feel included and that they're like very like inclusive of like bringing African culture to the environment. And I'm just going based off of like what I've seen at Cho School and like
Yeah,
stuff like
to
that.
elaborate on that, but for PWI, I definitely see that there's like an actual African community. Like, it's an African community. Like, there's black and there's African. Like, a lot of Africans. So, like, PWIs, I feel like African heritage is definitely expressed more. That's from what I've seen. And it's like, it's a divide too between like the black community is like black people and then it's Africans. But like, they try to do stuff together, but like, it doesn't work. Like, Africans have their parties, black people have their parties. It's different. Like, and it's a divide, but at PWIs, I think African heritage is definitely expressed more. That's just what I've seen.
Can you repeat the question?
Students at HBCUs are more in touch with African heritage. That's a misconception,
So African heritage, not like African, like black culture, like African.
well, just any like either one, honestly.
Were you gonna say something?
I just wanted to clarify the question. But like, so my school, we definitely like have classes that are about like the black diaspora and like black history and all that, but there are still people who are still ignorant. Like, there's still a lot of colorism that goes on. There's still a lot of ignorant people. There's a good amount of like black Republicans and stuff like that. So like,
At
you
your
know, there's
school?
not like a good amount, but like, you know, there's the problematic ones, and they're at a HBCU. So it's pretty much everywhere. So if you utilize it and you go to those places, you're willing to learn about your culture, then yeah. But just because you go to a HBCU doesn't mean you're going to be like in touch with your.
I think paired with the cultural difference is also the perception of how Africans are perceived to Americans.
Yes, and how Americans are perceived to Africans as well.
So I think that's also what drives a little bit of the divide of trying to learn from each other and collaborate with each other.
Y'all can't say that y'all didn't grow up hearing. I'm sorry, but y'all can't say that y'all didn't grow up hearing the term African booty scratcher.
Or
Right. Like you black.
I never heard that actually.
You never heard
I went
I've
to
never
a
heard that either.
Or it's like people.
It's
like,
a
or
good thing
they-
that you didn't hear
Yeah, I
that. You
really
went to a
never
white
heard
school. That's
Yeah,
a good
you
thing.
went to a white school.
Yeah, okay.
I think like a lot of people that are at HBCUs, they try to be on their Freddie Brooks type of mentality. And the character of Freddie Brooks, the internet people don't know what I'm talking about. It's from a different world.
She's
She's biracial, and she tries to be more in touch with her black side, and she tries to stay disconnected from her white side. And she chose Hillman because she mainly wanted to do that. And a lot of people, they were just saying like she's just going overboard. Like, even though she goes to a black college, she just wants to do all this thing. But everybody said Lily, but still. But everybody just got on her about her trying to be too black, and I don't understand that term to be too. I don't know, but it was a thing in the 80s, but it shouldn't be a thing in 2000.
She was my favorite character. I liked her way better than Whitley.
It's probably because when you try to overcompensate, it looks forced and it looks fake. So maybe that's what it like. The term too black or too white or too anything, or you talk white or you talk black, and you know those type of things. Those are very stupid. But but I feel like when anybody isn't authentic, that's when it becomes a problem. Like, be yourself. Like, if I talk like this and this is how I talk, then like this is me. Like, don't try to say. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
Fake woke is definitely a thing,
For
and
sure.
that's like one of my biggest pet
Yeah.
peeves. Like,
I'm
if you're
gonna
not
say
educated and
being
you're not
fake woke.
passionate about it, then it's like
Hey, you see
Being
that?
fake
have
woke
to,
is
like,
just an
search their
excuse to be ignorant.
Yeah.
You see that a lot at PWI.
I mean,
Being fake woke.
Huh?
Oh, we're doing a video.
Did you want to say one last thing?
Oh yeah, I was just like with the fake book, I was about to say that's definitely a problem with PWIs, especially when it comes to like the white people who try to be like cool with the black people and they only have like black friends. And a lot of times those people are really just fake woke and they're just trying to fit in because they don't fit in with the white kids. So they're like, okay, I'm just gonna fit in with the black kids.
Alright guys, so that is all for this video. I'm so sorry if I didn't get to your question. We had a lot of questions come in, so yeah. But any last final remarks before I close?
A pride.
Go Cox.
no matter where you go, HBCU or PWI, get your education, motherfuckers. Bye.
We're all black people, so let's start acting like it.
Whoever's in black, he's Arab.
Education is
It's separate,
education.
but, like,
as long as you're not ignorant.
I would say one
Education
thing.
is
I would say
education.
one thing.
Yeah.
Don't increase the divide between PWIs and HBCUs because at the end of the day, we're still like y'all
We're
still
in
the
this
same.
together.
Education
Together.
is
So
education.
just shared experiences instead of saying we're better than them. They're better than
Yeah,
us.
just
share
acknowledge
your
both of them.
experiences.
Acknowledge
Exactly.
the positivities of both sides.
It's better to have the culmination of experiences than being divided. Y'all have a great night.
Exactly. Bye, guys.